Nashville, Detroit, 59-60 on the rotation here. Nashville, sorry, minus 115 on the road. Total 5.5 shaded to the under. Nashville Predators, a short turnaround revenge situation, believe it or not, because they played Detroit Saturday night in Music City, and Detroit with the 3-1 victory in Nashville. That was one of the more looking at that score Saturday night. I'm like, that really happened. Detroit went into Nashville and beat them. Wow, pretty impressive stuff. But Nashville got back in the win column last night. Emphatic win against Ottawa, 5-2 in that hockey game. Definitely a situation where the Predators, if you were going to expect them to have a strong effort in a bounce back spot off the home loss to Detroit, you certainly saw that last night, taking care of business against the woe-begotten Ottawa Senators, 5-2 on home ice. Good bounce back win for Nashville. Now can they do it again? Second night of back-to-back here against Detroit. Of course, Detroit now knows that it'll be Jimmy Howard for the most part the rest of the way after they trade away Peter Mrazek to the Philadelphia Flyers in that deal yesterday. So back-to-back situation here for Nashville. Also their third game in 4 days, because they played Saturday against this Detroit team and again last night. Nashville's actually fared okay in terms of back-to-back situations. They're 4-2, Nashville, second night of back-to-back games this season. I'm going back and forth on this game. From a side perspective, it's Nashville or nothing for me. I think, the fact they just lost to Detroit on Saturday night gets them focused for this game. And again, their second night of back-to-back record isn't terrible by any stretch of the imagination. The one issue I've got, though, is that, believe it or not, they've had a real tough time against the Detroit Red Wings. They're 0-7 the last head-to-head against Detroit. Detroit has owned this series, believe it or not. It's the most peculiar thing. Nashville's had good teams as well in recent years, and Detroit's still been able to beat them. I mean, it's really a funny thing, including, of course, the game this past Saturday. But I may be willing to buck the series history here just for this one game. I think, Detroit, who knows where their collective heads are at now. This point, they lost 3-2 their last game against Toronto. A last-minute Austin Matthews goal to get beaten in that one. Detroit's effort, give them credit. Jeff Blashill has this team's effort level pretty good most nights. They're competitive in most games. 3-2 loss to Toronto, nothing to write home about. They'd actually won 3 of their last 5 games. But I think Detroit is going to have the attention of Nashville tonight after Nashville loses to them on home ice on Saturday. So I'm going to probably go ahead with Nashville. It's not my strongest play on the card by any stretch, but minus 115 with Nashville on the road is not a terrible price whatsoever. I think they can, even on a back-to-back here, get the job done against the Detroit Red Wings. We've got Andrew McGinnis also involved. This is his first game on the slate. He wants to discuss Nashville taking on Detroit. Andrew, what do you got for us here?
Yeah, Ian, well, excuse me, just to kind of echo what you said, I mean, like you mentioned, it's plain and simple. They haven't really had the best luck in Detroit. And a lot of the points that you made were kind of stuff that I was going to say. And one of the really big things that I have to say about the Nashville Predators is that it doesn't really bother me that they're on this back-to-back spot right now. It doesn't really bother me that they're playing so many games in so many days right now. They're 5-1 in their last 6 in the third game of a 3-4 situation. So it's kind of an interesting stat, kind of a random stat, but it's pretty interesting, and if it's working for them, it's fine with me. And the Preds are also 4-1 in their last 5 games, playing on 0 days rest. So for me, this team right now, looking at yesterday's game against Ottawa, guys, the fact is, I understand it is the Ottawa Senators. It's not the biggest win to get all excited about. It's not anything to be too proud of. But when you look at this team and the way that they win games, I think they can win close games. They can win those OT games. They've come back from being down 3-0, recently. They know how to win tight games. But yesterday was one of those games that I can tell you guys, it just looked easy for them. It looked almost too easy and too basic. They were stomping all over this Ottawa Senators team. Looked like they were playing against an OHL team out there, because it was almost like this team is just way too stacked. I just think that every single night it's a new man, it's a new stack, it's next man up mentality with this Predators team, which is why I think they have such potential to go deep. I think right now that they have such a talent level, and that the Predators are finally healthy, that it's just about kind of putting the pieces together. It's up to the coaching staff to really kind of piece this and string this team together, because they have the talent, and I think they have what it takes to go far. And like you said, against this Detroit team right now, coming off, it sort of is a revenge spot. And like I said, that Ottawa game last night, I doubt they're tired. I doubt that was even that tiring of a game for them. I think that they made that look easy, and they're looking towards Detroit right now. Everyone's kind of looking back in full form. This top line of Forsberg, Johansson, and Victor Arvidsson is looking top notch right now. Arvidsson had a great game yesterday. So did Roman Josi and Ryan Ellis. And I just think that right now this Howard and Rene matchup is too good to be true. The price that we're getting on this Nashville team is too good to be true right now. And I think it's just plain and simple. I mean, you look at these two teams, the price that we're getting. I don't care what the history is between these two teams, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, history does speak. Nashville's 1-5 straight up in the last 6 games and playing on the road against Detroit. 0-5 in the last 5 games in general against Detroit. So I think they can really snap out of that streak right now. The history between these two teams, it has been the over as far as the total goes. But I just think that Nashville will come in here and take care of business. I expect a big night from Rene, and hopefully the Predators can pounce all over Jimmy Howard.
All right, Nashville. So Andrew and I both likely, I am going to be actually on the Nashville side as well. It's a good situation. And we have to keep in mind too, all these regular season wins Detroit's had against Nashville. When's the last time Nashville's had a great regular season the way they are this year? It's been like they've had up and down regular seasons. Even last year. Last year, this team was in the regular season was average. Okay, they were okay. And it was in the playoffs they got hot. They got on a roll and went all the way to the final. This is the first year really in a long time where Nashville is right near the top of the Western Conference in terms of the standings. So this year is finally a year where they're playing really good in the regular season. So Detroit's beaten all these wins for Detroit against Nashville head to head are taking place when Nashville's having these, so-so regular season performances. This year, that's not the case. They've been terrific all season long. Nashville, very consistent, right up there near the top of the Western Conference. It could be them, could be Vegas. You never count out a Winnipeg or St. Louis in terms of teams that could win the West here at this point in time. But they're right there, and it's because they've been very consistent. They've avoided extended, long losing streaks throughout the course of the regular season. And again, they're as deep at center ice as you can ask for it. Kyle Turris missed a couple games. He came back. Look at that center ice. It is absolutely loaded and stacked. Depth down the middle means a lot to me, especially come playoff time. Johansson, Turris, and Bonino give that Nashville team a triple threat at the center ice position. Guys that can win faceoffs, get the puck back for their team. Just all those little things that are going to go a long way in the playoffs. That's why Nashville's going to be dangerous again come postseason time. So Nashville at the minus 115 price here in this game tonight for both Andrew and me.
And they only had one goal last game, too. They only had one goal in the last meeting against Detroit. I mean, that's not going to happen again. I mean, we can't see the future here, but with the talent that they really have, I mean, you just mentioned it, Ian. Up the middle, they're so strong, they're so talented, and they have such quality defensemen that can play defensive, but also jump up in the rush. I just can't see this being a 3-1 type style game against them. It's just the average goals per the season just don't match up like that, and I just think that they're way better of a team than Detroit. With just the odds that we're getting, I would take a look at Nashville, honestly.
Yeah, and the one thing that's actually been pretty good, especially most of the season, but especially lately, there's been a lot of these games where Detroit is playing at home. They're taking on a Class A team, and Class A team is laying in this minus 115, 20, 25 range on the road. We saw it with Toronto on Sunday night. The Class A team has gotten the job done a lot of these times. So that's what kind of this game sort of fits into, that kind of price range, that kind of situation. Class A team on the road against Detroit. Class A team's gotten the job done a lot in this kind of price range and this situation. So, yeah, that's where Nashville fits for me in this game as well.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.